Hello and welcome everybody, it's Karen. I've got a little Christmas card to share today. I'm using this Penguin Winter Holiday stamp set and I've stamped all the penguins, but I'm actually only going to use those top three today for this card, and these bottom two, I have an idea for them to make them into an interactive card, and that'll be my next video. So today it's just these three little guys, and I have got the Winter Wonderland stencil, which is just packed full of wintry scenes. And I love the penguins and that drippy part. So I've chosen to make this gatefold style card today. Now, this is my mock-up. It's got that extra fold in the middle, and because of that, at the front, it becomes a bit like a pop-up card. Originally, I had flowers in it, which is why I did the fence, but for this card, I thought those icy part of the stencil would work well. So that's an 8.5 by 11 card. I've cut it across at 5.5 inches. And now from that bottom section, I've cut a piece that we'll cut this just under 6 inches, you guys. And I've got another piece, I scored that at 1/4 inch in, and this piece of acetate is 5.5 inches wide by 1.5 tall. I'm scoring it right down the middle at 2 3/4 inch. And that will go on the front part of this cross piece. Now, you don't have to do this. I just wanted it to have a really nice icy look. So I've got a piece of double-sided adhesive that is the same size as that acetate. I've peeled the top back, but I'm lining it up at the bottom edge where I haven't released the adhesive. And so once that's lined up, then I'll press the adhesive down, and that way it won't be all wonky when I go to put it on. So I'm just removing that release paper, and it's sticking down to the acetate. And then you really want to burnish this well, because that will help make that adhesive disappear a little bit. And I am reinforcing that fold in the center. Now I've got a couple of Catherine Pooler inks in Tranquil and Hot Tub. I know you probably can't read that. But I'm just putting those out on my glass mat. I think my one on the left there needed a bit of re-inking. But I'm just taking a mix of those two, and I'm stenciling right onto that cardstock cross piece now, so that I've got that right on the paper part. And now I'll remove the release paper from this acetate piece, and I'm lining that up between the fold lines, so it doesn't cover the fold, the little tab at the bottom there. But I'm lining up that bottom piece, and once it's there, I can press the adhesive side down up at the top. And so then my cross piece is now covered with acetate. And so you could leave it there like that, but I wanted more. I wanted it more of an icy look. So I'm putting some more of that ink down on my glass mat. And I'm using this Liquitex Gloss Heavy Gel. It's a clear gel. It'll dry clear, but I'm mixing it in with some of those inks to give it a little bit of a tint of color. And I'll go back over that whole stenciled area with that. And then you can see the dimension that gives. So it's just kind of fun. So I put that aside to dry, and I'm sort of planning out where my sky is here. And I've got some squeezed lemonade, spun sugar, and shaded lilac, and I've just made a sky. And then on my stencil, I've masked off everything that I didn't want green. And I'm using Rustic Wilderness and a bit of Mowed Lawn towards the tops of the trees. And I'm just going in with a little stencil brush and putting in some color. Now, I went back in afterwards with this little smaller brush and a bit of Rustic Wilderness, just dabbing on a bit in the center of the trees to give it a bit more of a tree-like look. And so you can see it there. And then I cleaned off that stencil and I flipped it over to make the other side. So now I'll do exactly the same thing on that side of the card. So there you can see the sky and the tree line. And so it just makes it look like snow. I know penguins don't live where there are trees, but you know what? That's artistic license. I needed something for that skyline. So here I'm just using that same Tranquil ink, and I've made my blue areas. I've stenciled in some of the penguins, and now I'm scoring right in the middle at 5.5 inches, and then on the left at 2 3/4 inches, and on the right at 8 1/4 inches. And those are all the gatefold folds. They're all going to be mountain folds. So I'm just carefully folding that in, just trying to make sure the tops and the bottoms are lined up. And in the middle it goes another mountain fold again, and just lining up the tops and bottoms. And giving everything a good burnish. Now this has dried, my cross piece, so I'm going to score it right in the middle again, so that's right at the 3 inches. And then I can fold the end tabs backwards, and I'll put some red line tape on those, and I'm just really pressing them down. So on my card, now this will go between the first and the last fold score lines. So this is why you would want to make it a little bit narrower than the 5.5 inches, just because those 2 side folds have to be able to go over. So I'm lining it up to the right of that first fold line, and then pressing it down. And now to make my cross pieces, I've got 3 pieces of acetate here. They're 5 inches, 4 inches, and 3 inches wide. And they're all just slightly under 1.5 inches tall, just so they don't poke out above that icy cross piece. Now all of these I'm scoring 1/4 inch in from each end, and that will make the tabs. So you want to really fold and burnish those. And then I've got some red line tape on them. Now you could make those tabs out of cardstock if you wanted. I just like the icy look, so whatever works for you. But now I've removed the release paper on the left side, and I'm just sort of centering that tab across the midline. And then I'll press down that left side, flip that over, and then I'll repeat that with the other 2 tabs. So they're all going down right across the center line. So once all 3 are down on the left side, I can just remove the release paper on the right hand edge of those tabs and fold them nice and flat across that center fold. And you do want them to be flat, because this card, you know, as a gatefold will be flat. So that's the 3rd one going down, just nice and tight straight across. And you can see there how they bend out with the back fold line bending. They sort of pop forward, so there's lots of room to add images to that. And then I can remove the release paper on this side of the front tab and bring it across to just on the left hand side of that fold line. And so then the fun begins. You get to put all your images in. Now I ended up putting that little guy with a Christmas tree right onto the front of that. I was planning on putting him inside, but I liked him at the front, so I probably didn't need 3 of these cross pieces, but they're in there anyway. So you can add lots more to these, but there's my little trio of penguins on the inside there, all having fun. And so on the front now, when I close that, I've used one of the Blurry Flurries pieces of cardstock from Whimsy stamps to decorate the front 2 sides. And it kind of reminded me of clouds. I like the colors. They sort of went with the inside colors. So I've used that cloud edger die to just cut the top edge of that belly band. Now, the belly band is 11 inches wide, but you want it to come fairly loosely around those side edges so it slides off easily enough. So you can see I've got a little gap there. But I happen to have this piece of scrap cardstock on my desk. It was from some new Distress Spritz sprays. And I've cut a circle with it and another one in white. So I've got those glued together, and then all you have to do is put a little bit of glue on either side of that gap, and then we'll put the centerpiece on. So that will hold both edges together. So you can see that'll work quite well there. Now to decorate that circle, I've used the Joy word set, the die sets, and from that same scrap cardstock, I've cut the Joy letters out. And I did cut another little heart that you can see there now. So that is my finished card. Super fun, lots of room on the back to write your message. Take the belly band off, and you have this whole dimension on the inside. It's a bit unexpected, I find. So lots of images that could go in there. Lots of stamp sets would work with this, I think. So thanks for joining me, everybody. I hope that's given you some ideas. I'll talk to you next time. Bye.